Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sandra. 我是 Sandra。大家好，你们好吗？I hope the answer is 很好 very good, or 非常好 Remember, we've learned 非常 means unusually good. And then last but not least, of course, 欢迎 welcome to Community Mandarin. First, I do want to apologize for the very abrupt ending for the last community Mandarin. If you watch that one, you probably have heard that there was a constant knocking at the door to the room I was doing my life in when I was doing that, and then it turned out to be my daughter, and then she just felt like she has something really important to tell me, and not being that important in an adult perspective. But yeah, I had to cut the last live stream short due to that. But today, first, I'm sorry. Do we still remember what is the two ways to say I'm sorry? One is 对不起, right? That's your common one that you were more likely to use in daily conversations. And then the other one is 抱歉. 抱歉 is the more formal or more fancy ones. It's like I consider myself a very well-spoken lady in Mandarin, so usually I would say 抱歉, 抱歉. Okay. So today, piggyback on what we've been learning for the past two lives, we are still gonna talk about very useful adjectives for people. When you want to describe someone, you need, I would say, a sizable vocabulary so that when you want to describe someone or when you want to talk about someone's personality or characteristics, you would have those by hand. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of very common positive um, adjectives. And of course, we're going to talk about a bunch of not so positive adjectives. Let's jump into our materials for today. So first, let's look at adjectives for 人的性格. Do you guys still remember what is 人的性格?性格 is personality. So 人的性格 is a person's personality. So for someone's personality. So first, let's learn about some good ones, like what we use to compliment people, or you want to paint someone in a positive light. So 请跟我读. First, we have 聪明,聪明. 聪明 means smart, brilliant. If you want to compliment someone, hey, you were smart. Hey, 你很聪明. The next one is the most important, I personally consider it's the most important quality in a person. So it is kind, of course. 善良,善良 means kind. And then number three, 大方,大方 means generous, generous. Also, it's a very good quality for human being. Okay, and then let's move on to the fourth one. 第四个 is 温柔,温柔. 温柔 means mild tempered and means a very gentle, usually very soft spoken. So it is usually used as a compliment to both, of course, men and women. And then number five, another very important characteristic for 人的性格, it is 讲道理,讲道理. 讲, as we learned before, 讲 basically is the same one with same meaning as 说. So 讲道理 actually means that person is easy to discuss with rules, and 道理 means rules and reasons. So 讲道理 means reasonable. And in this quickly, if you want to say somebody is unreasonable, we can just say someone is 不讲道理,不讲道理. 你不讲道理, you're unreasonable. And last but not least, we have 宽容. 宽容 is kind of, I think, in the same ballpark as 大方. But 宽容 is more like, because 宽 means wide and 容 means containing. So 宽容 means you usually have a very big heart and you're very easily to forgive other people for their wrongdoings, for their mistakes. So 宽容. 宽容 is another adjective, very useful one to if you want to describe someone. So this is, of course, the positive adjectives for a person's characteristics or a person's personality. So we have 聪明、善良、大方、温柔、讲道理、宽容. So actually, I was a little bit hesitant. Like, I was thinking, do I want to cover the negative characteristic for like humans' personality? Do I want to do that? Because I don't want to be like I want to teach all you guys these mean words so you can use those to curse out other people. But on second thought, I think we can just consider them as adjectives to to be learned just in case like you want to know about them. They're not necessarily curse words, they're not necessarily bad words, they're just words that sometimes can be seen in a positive light or objectively to describe someone. And then let's take a look. I personally think myself has been accused of several of them, and then I'm okay with it. I admit it. So, all right, negative adjectives. So first, let's look at the first line. We have three together. The reason being those three are both the opposite of what we learned as 聪明, smart. So we have 笨, 请跟我读, and we have 傻, and we have 愚蠢. Well, if I want to dive into it a little bit more, it would be, it would cost like an entire 10-minute session. But today we're just going to quickly talk about what's the difference between these three. So, like I said, they both mean silly, stupid, not smart. They all mean that. They all carry that meaning. But 笨 and 傻 are not always necessarily a negative word, I would say. Sometimes it can be endearing. You can literally say to your friend, oh, 你很笨, like you're so silly. So sometimes they carry that endearing quality that it kind of deemed them not so negative. So 笨 and 傻 can both be used under that circumstance. But the one in red circle, 愚蠢, that is always a negative adjective. If you say to someone, 你很愚蠢, then you are just insulting them. It means you are stupid. It does not carry the meaning of silly. And number two, 请跟我读小气. 小气 is the opposite of where we've just encountered 大方. 大方 means generous. And 小气 is the exact opposite of 大方. So 小气 also can be seen in two aspects. One is 小气 as in cheap with money and stingy. If you want to say, hey, my boss haven't given me a raise in 5 years. 他很小气. That means he's cheap, he's stingy. And then 小气 can be used in another under another circumstance, like somebody is very easy to hold a grudge, is very narrow-minded, is always getting mad over the littlest things. That can also be called 小气. Say, okay, my girlfriend hasn't talked to me for a week just because of like a tiny little thing we had. That can be say, hey, 我女朋友, my girlfriend, 很小气. Of course, that's just an example. And number three, first, 请跟我读, it is 刻薄. 刻薄. 刻薄, like when I was learning English, I find it very hard to find one Chinese adjectives to carry the meaning of me. And after a lot of searching, I personally think 刻薄 is the most similar one to carry the meaning me. So I would consider it the opposite of what we just learned, 善良, kind. So if you say to someone, hey, 你很刻薄, means you are me, you me. Okay. And let's look at the first one. We have 矫情. 矫情. 矫情 is a word that it's under a very specific, I would say Mandarin culture sense. So it means you were spoiled, melodramatic, like there's nothing good enough for you. Say, let me give you a quick example. It's like if we say she can only eat like the she can eat only like the freshest fruit, and if they're overnight, she will refuse to eat it. I know it's not like the best example, but that's the kind of situation that we would call 矫情. Well, I would say in today's America, you guys have a word for that, and that is Karen. Okay, so 矫情 is kind of in the ballpark of being a Karen. Think one is super privileged and spoiled, and then nothing's good enough to forget. Okay, and next one is this one is also a very common one, right? Selfish, self-centered. It is 自私,自私. I'm not gonna lie, I've been accused of that, and I've been accused of 矫情 as well. So if you want to say someone's self-absorbed, self-centered, selfish, you can use the word 自私. All right, last one. First, let's read it. Last one is pronounced 作,作. For someone who has been learning Mandarin for a while, you might find that Chinese character a bit familiar. And yes, it is also pronounced as 做,做 as we've learned 工作, and also we've learned 作业. When it is pronounced as 做, 第四声, the falling tone, it carries the meaning of work. So 工作 means work, and 作业 means homework. But when it is pronounced as the high level tone, the 一声, it means it is 做 when it is pronounced as 做. It actually carried a very similar meaning as in 矫情. It means someone is very spoiled, very melodramatic, and then usually would make a fuss over the littlest things. So 做 and 矫情 are in the ballpark, in the same ballpark. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today's content, guys, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, actually. We'll see you this Thursday. 星期四，再见。